My 600-pound father controlled our entire family from a recliner he couldn't get out of until a 7-year-old killed him with a pair of scissors. My father weighed over 600 pounds and hadn't left his recliner in 3 years, but he still controlled every room in the house. He kept a steel-toed boot tied to a long rope coiled next to his chair, and he would throw it at whoever made him angry and yank it back, so he always had it ready for the next person. My sister Bella was turning 16 and she wanted a real party with friends from school. Dad said yes because he liked an audience. The day of the party, our living room filled up with about 30 people, and Dad sat in his recliner with his boot rope coiled and ready while everyone tried to act like this was normal. Bella was opening presents when Dad started sighing loud enough for everyone to hear. My mom walked over to him and asked, "Do you need something, honey?" He snapped back, "Yeah, I need someone to remember I exist. Bring me some cake." She scurried to the kitchen and came back with a slice. He took one bite and announced, "This tastes like garbage. What is this? Store-bought? You couldn't even bake a cake for your own daughter's birthday? Pathetic." My mom's face went red and she whispered, "I'm sorry, I can get you something else." He just waved her away like she was a fly. One of Bella's friends leaned over and asked, "Is your dad okay?" And Bella just said, "He's fine," in that flat voice we all learned to use. My little cousin Weston, who was maybe 7, ran past the recliner playing tag, and Dad's arm snapped forward so fast I barely saw it. The steel toe caught Weston right between the shoulder blades, and he went down hard on his hands and knees. Dad yanked the rope and the boot slid back to him, and he was already looking for his next target before Weston even started crying. My aunt rushed over and picked Weston up, and I watched her glare at my father. She carried Weston toward the kitchen, and I heard him sob, "Why did he do that?" She just whispered, "Shh, you're okay. You know how he is." Dad threw the boot twice more after that while everyone pretended to focus on the presents, and each time that rope snapped tight and slid the boot right back to his hand. Then Dad hurled the boot at a group of kids near the cake table, and while he was yanking it back, little Weston walked right up to the rope holding a pair of scissors. The whole room seemed to freeze as this 7-year-old boy who had a bruise forming on his back looked my father dead in the eyes and cut that rope. The boot stopped halfway across the floor. Dad stared at the cut end of the rope like he couldn't process what had just happened, and then his face twisted into something ugly, and he pointed at Weston. "You little bastard. You bring me that boot right now, or I swear to God I will make your life a living hell. Do you hear me? I will make you wish you were never born." Weston's hands were shaking, but he didn't move. His mom started toward him, but Weston held up the scissors and said no, in a tiny voice that somehow filled the whole room. Dad's head snapped toward me and he barked, "You, get my other boots from the closet now. We're going to fix this, and then we're going to have a conversation about what happens to people who disrespect me in my own house." I was already moving toward the hallway because I always did what he said, but then I heard Bella whisper, "Please don't." I looked at her face, and I looked at little Weston still holding those scissors with tears running down his cheeks, and I stopped. I said no. I said it loud enough for all 30 people to hear. Dad's eyes went wide. "What did you just say to me?" I held my head up higher. "I said no. If you want your boots so bad, you can get up and get them yourself." The silence was so heavy it felt like the air had turned solid. Dad gripped both armrests, and his face went purple, and he started pushing himself up while screaming, "I am going to break every bone in your body, you ungrateful little brat." But his arms were shaking and he couldn't lift himself. He tried again, straining so hard the veins popped out on his forehead, and he fell back into the chair. He tried a third time, and then his whole body seized up and his hand flew to his chest, and he made this horrible gurgling sound and slumped sideways in the recliner and didn't move again. Nobody screamed. Nobody called 911. My uncle crossed the room and picked up Weston and walked out the front door, and 3 other families followed within a minute.